Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Modern Mining. I wanted to give a quick update today on the status of the mining farm. It's been a while since I did a full update on my farm, my full update on my crypto portfolio, showing you guys how much coins I've mined in basically the year and a half that I've been running this farm. Granted, it's only been this big for probably the last 8 or so months. I also want to talk about some future projects and things I've got going on. So let's get started after a quick word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Crypto Miner Bros, a reliable and highly trusted ASIC miner reseller. There are a couple huge benefits to buying from Crypto Miner Bros. The first is that the price on their website is the all-in price shipped to your door, no hidden fees. The second is that they have a massive selection of all the popular miners. My current favorite miner is the DG Home 1, which I got from Crypto Miner Bros. Don't forget to use code MODERN for $70 off each item regardless of price. Purchasing ASIC miners can be risky with tons of scams going around. Why not make it easy with Crypto Miner Bros? Check them out today with the link down below. Let's get started today with the progress on selling one of these rigs. If you remember, I'm keeping 2, so I'm keeping 24 GPUs and selling the third rig. I'm just parting it out GPU by GPU. As you can see, I've made some progress here. So I sold 3 cards this weekend and some previous cards to that. So this was a 12 card rig and we've got 3 cards there, 1 card there. So 4 cards left on there. And then I've also got those 2 up there. Let's see, but one of them's actually off of that rig. So let's see, that means only 5 cards left on that rig. And I've got these 2 over here that have already been tested on a test bench and made sure that they are working fine to be able to sell to gamers, all the displays work and everything. And that would make 7. So I have sold 5 cards so far off of this rig. And if you didn't watch my monitor upgrade video, I had some trouble with Facebook Marketplace and one of these cards supposedly artifacting. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put that video up here. But it was actually just a dirty port. So I'm taking all these cards off, cleaning them, dusting them, and then I'm taking a DisplayPort cable and just mating it like 10 times on each port just to wipe away any corrosion that is on the contacts that could be causing display issues when whoever buys these goes to plug them in. But so far, every card has been totally fine on my testing. Also right here, I have a 3080 that is listed on Facebook Marketplace as of now. This is out of my main PC. Still debating if I'm going to sell this or not. This is listed for 400. If I can get 400 out of it or even like 380, then I'll be happy. I did upgrade to a 9070 XT when I got those 4K monitors, so I did not need that card anymore. In terms of what's actually running at this point, so we're still spec mining Ergo on this rig down here with 12 GPUs. This has been mining just fine, pulling around 1100 watts. And it's been relatively stable, just letting that mine as much Ergo as I can while the price is down so low. I'm hoping that Ergo will pump back up eventually, even though the market has been looking pretty grim lately. As far as what's continuing to mine besides the GPUs, we've got the DG Home 1, courtesy of Crypto Miner Bros. If you guys need any ASICs, check them out for sure. And then we've got, let's see, sticking with ASICs, we've got the Jazz Miner X16Q. This is probably negative or at least even right now, but I'm just continuing to run it to stack up some ETC, which is really nice. Bitcoin sitting right around 85K today, so that is a lot better price than I expected. The market, especially the stock market, has been sort of all over the place, and Bitcoin really has held up extremely well. And when we go over my portfolio in a bit, I'll discuss kind of some crypto moves I made, but I actually ended up selling all of my Ethereum that I mined from the 2021 days. So I'll go into that a little bit later, but I held those coins for like 5 years. And with the volatility that we've been seeing, I am somewhat bearish and did decide to sell my Ethereum, though I did not sell my Bitcoin because it's been holding up so well. I've got a lot of faith in Bitcoin moving forward. Additionally, we've got some depin miners up here. So we've got the Aether Edge. This I haven't checked on in a while, but is making like $3.50 every maybe 2 days or something like that. And the deep Still in testnet, just getting these testnet tokens. Hopefully one day that goes mainnet and makes a ton of money. Same thing with the anyone relay down here. This is getting anyone tokens in testnet as well. Just letting that do its thing and hopefully make a bunch of money on it one day when it goes to mainnet. So a couple upcoming projects. You guys probably are wondering what the heck this is. Well, this video will be coming out sometime soon. Basically a little rig build that I did, and I made a full build video on it. Should be very interesting. I'm still working on the voiceovers for that video, but this is how I've been testing all of those 3070s I've been selling. It's super easy to just slot in a card and test it on that monitor. And one thing that I don't know if a lot of people know is I just popped out the little GPU bracket latch here, and man, is that so worth doing. It's so much easier to pop a GPU in and out than having to try to get around the card and flip that. So honestly, I very much recommend popping that out. That thing was so annoying. So a video on that's coming out. I'm about to film a video on, I got a new BitAxe Gamma after I fried my last one. This is also courtesy of Crypto Miner Bros, the sponsor of this video, so that's awesome. Hopefully this one continues to work. Speaking of BitAxes, so I have this BitAxe Supra that I recently plugged in a video when I set up my 7 USB miner. And this one was working for a short time, and now I think it might actually be permanently dead. I just noticed the other day. Let's wait for this to turn on, and it should give me like a chip error. Huh, it's actually mining now. The other day, it was giving me an error that said like, what was it? Like ASIC chip error, 0 chips found, or something like that. And I unplugged it, plugged it back in, and it was doing the same thing. So we'll see. I'll plug this back in for now, and we'll see if it keeps going. But that's about it for future videos. You'll notice right here, I've got a car battery, and that's because I am looking to get some videos going on some budget solar stuff. So I do a lot of Amazon reviews, so a lot of companies will send me different hardware. That battery got sent to me. So I'm trying to get a assortment of random solar components to where I can make a mini solar setup and maybe run a couple of these little depin devices that don't use very much power, run those off of that solar setup. Now the easiest way to do that, I'm trying to get one of those like Jackery power units. I've been working with a company called Greenery, and I would like to get one of those. It's like a 2500 watt unit, and that would make it super easy to have a plug and play solar setup. But if not, I may do one with just like this car battery and a charge controller and a solar panel. So stay tuned for that, something I'm still messing around with. I recently watched Red Fox Crypto's solar video, and I believe he spent like $60,000 on his system. Granted, it's for his whole house, but I'm looking for a much more budget solution, maybe tailored to specifically for crypto mining. Because after all, that was the original start of this channel, is budget home mining. So nobody really wants to spend the 60K. I like to find some sort of solar that I can set up for like 2K or something like that. So one last update, I did sell all of my Ice River devices to one guy. Thank you for everyone who sent me an email with the price, with the bid price on them. I did sell them all to one guy, and those are all gone now. So let's go upstairs and take a look at my mining portfolio, how much it's down. I wish I could say how much it's up, and we'll take a look at those numbers. Before we head up there, let's get a quick read of our power usage, 2250 watts. We'll see what that's costing me every single month, and that is mainly the Jazz Miner, the GPUs, and then the Alphapex DG Home 1. So let's check it out. Okay guys, so let's take a look at how much I'm spending every single day in power, and then how much am I generating in crypto, and then we'll look at my whole portfolio, kind of how much coins do I currently have. So for wattage here, we established that we're using 2250, which is about $6 per day or $180 a month. That is a little higher than I would want right now, mainly because mining is just so unprofitable right now. If you remember, I did try to set up that GPU rig as a 6-card rig, but when I turned off one of the power supplies, it just would not turn off. And so I just left it as a 12-card rig. So let's see what these earnings look like, and I may need to reevaluate if I want to keep all 12 of those cards on mining Ergo. So the first miner here that we have is my Jazz miner, and we can see that every single day we're making about $1.30 in ETC. Let's go ahead and just pull up a calculator here and do $6 minus $1.30. And then we have $4.7 in the loss now. Now we'll go to Ergo, which I'm mining on Hero Miners. And we can see here that I'm mining about 1.4 Ergo a day the last few days. I was all the way up to like over 2 for a bit. The hash rate must have climbed pretty substantially. Let's see if we can see that on here. It looks relatively flat, but for some reason my earnings have gone down. So 1.3 Ergo. Let's check CoinGecko what that actually is. We'll say 1.4 is about $1.11. So we'll add that to the calculator, minus 1.11. And then we also need to check Mining Dutch, which is our AlphaPex DG Home 1 mining script. It's mining a bunch of coins and transferring them into Dogecoin. And you can see the last few days we are probably around, let's say, $2.10. So we'll subtract that as well. And you can see my entire farm is losing about $1.50 every single day in terms of just my mining profits. So this isn't calculating in my depin devices. If you put in the Aether Edge there, this would probably be at least flat or even positive. But I really just want to calculate just my mining devices right now. And really, I'm okay with taking a $1.50 loss every single day if it means that I'm dollar cost averaging into all of these cryptos, that when the market ever does turn around, there should be at least a little bit of price movement upwards that takes me from negative to at least positive, or at least break even or positive. So losing $1.50 a day, that sucks, because back a couple months ago, maybe 6 months ago at this point, there were some days where we were making like $20 a day with the same setup. So definitely, you guys, the market is what's making mining profitability down so much. A lot of altcoins are down a ton, and that's what we're about to see when we look at my portfolio. So here is my portfolio. Current balance 6,184. At least this hasn't dropped too much. I think the peak that this ever got, let's take a look at the year time period here. Before the market started dropping, the peak we ever hit was $9,200. And I think at this point, our investment is probably around $8,000 with all the GPUs I've sold. So we're still not terrible off. Now, granted, that's the only reason it's as good as it is because of my strategy where I switch 50% into Bitcoin and hold 50% of altcoins. Because if we look at my portfolio here, every single coin is in the red significantly besides my Bitcoin. So that strategy that I've preached about for the last year or so, that I am a pretty risk adverse person, I like to switch half into Bitcoin, half into altcoins. It paid off in this case because I have $4,300 worth of Bitcoin that is actually up 20%, while all of my other altcoins are down massively. So Alephium down 83%. Aleo, this one's kind of funny, down 91%. What are some other big ones here? Chlor 80, Zeph 80, Zealous 60, Caspa, even Caspa 53%. So all coins have just bled and bled and bled. And the funny thing about Aleo is it's down 91%, but it's actually up 51% in the past week. So this would be even worse a week ago. So that's what the portfolio is looking like. Basically the same value it's been for the last few months. Now, granted, I haven't updated this in a while, so this is probably more like add another $200 worth of Dogecoin in here. We'll go ahead and do that. I use the market price and just add transaction. But that's only going to be like $30. And I probably need to add some ETC in here as well. We said 4.7 ETC for the market price. So that's another $70. So that helps a little bit. So we're actually at 6,300. So nothing crazy, but like I mentioned, we're getting bags of these coins that hopefully will price appreciate once things turn around a little bit. So let's just take Ethereum Classic as an example. I mean, if you look at the max from, this is 2016 all the way over here, we are the lowest point that we've been since basically 2022. So at some point, statistically, we would think that this would come back up and we would at least be in the green on that Jazz miner. Now, the one last side of this is I want to give you guys an update on my trading bots. So I did mention that I sold all of my Ethereum that I had from 2021, and I did that for a couple reasons. One, I was able to lock in a capital loss of $9,000, which is awesome because I can roll that for multiple years. I can sell stocks at a gain and basically not pay taxes on it because I locked in that $9,000 Ethereum loss, which obviously you never want to take a loss that big. But when I actually sold my Ethereum on Coinbase and moved it to Pinex, I rebought that Ethereum at like the $4,000 price range. So I didn't actually really take a $9,000 loss, but granted, when I sold on Coinbase for that $4,000 price, I did have to pay taxes on those cap gains. So it all kind of offsets, but still at this point, I have a locked in $9,000 capital loss, which is one of the benefits. The other is that Ethereum has just been looking so weak against Bitcoin, which sucks because I held that Ethereum for so long. Had like 6 Ethereum waiting for it to just go to $10,000 and I'd have like a nice down payment on another house. But it just never happened. And I'm sure it still probably will. But at this point, with the market being as uncertain as it is, I want my money in cash where I can buy stocks on dips or even Bitcoin on dips because Bitcoin has been holding up well. So this balance in here is not correct. This is actually at like $9,000. It hasn't taken into account that I cashed out $5,000, and that's what that huge drop is right there. So let's talk about my bots though, because I am still running some of these bots. I had a commenter the other day who was calling these Pinex bots scams, and even if you guys don't like these bots, watch this for like 30 seconds and I can show you that this is indeed not a scam. It's just a very simple buy low, sell high bot. So the greatest example of this is my Bitcoin USDT trading bot that I have $9,000 in. If this was a scam, I wouldn't have my money in that. And you can see my total profit is down $1,300, but that's because Bitcoin, when I started this bot, was at a much higher price than it is now. In terms of what the actual bot has done for me, it's actually generated me $300 in liquid USDT that I can cash out, and that's only over a period of 130 days. So basically, this is earning me, it's already earned me 3% of my money, and yearly in terms of APY, it's earning me 8.67. And it's not like I don't have my Bitcoin anymore. In terms of my holdings, I have 0.867 in Bitcoin, and only $700 of that 9,000 is actually in cash. So I essentially still have all my Bitcoin, but I've generated an extra $300. And that is what I use these bots for, to basically squeeze out some APY from coins that I already hold. Show me another spot where you can make 8% on your Bitcoin. I haven't seen one, or at least one that's not a US regulated exchange. So that is basically it, guys. This is in the middle of the month. I normally do these kind of profit updates at the beginning of the month, but I did this one right here because I just forgot to do it. So stay tuned. I'm still going to be making a lot of videos, and I'll see you guys next time. On your way out, if you're interested in buying GPUs for gaming, for AI rigs, or anything, check out my site, GPU Deals. It is the best way to get the best deals on GPUs. Peace.